Hi everyone, welcome back to Online Darts. Here we are back on Zoom and we've got PDC's Europe's head of media, Phil. Phil, how are you?
Not too bad, thank you. And you, Phil? Thanks for having me.
Yeah, not a problem at all. I'd say for those that don't know, you're head of PDC Europe's media, the German equivalent of Dave Allen, shall we say,
Yes.
that deals with everything. Busy time for yourself at the moment.
Yes, it is. I mean, it's especially, the world, as you well know, they're always a bit wild from the media side. All of a sudden, all the media stations that usually are not into the darts, all of a sudden they realize, oh dear, the World Championships are on, and then Gabriel Clemens does well, and then everyone wants a piece of that, obviously. So, well, a couple of busy weeks, and now a lot of organizing to do for 2021.
Yeah, we heard obviously record numbers, first of all, for when Gabriel played Nico, and then it jumped again when Gabriel beat Peter. So you must be over the moon that the amount of people that are watching darts in Germany right now.
Yeah, it's obviously a big relief because we're all wondering, what's going to happen to the viewing figures with the fans not being there. But the fans have, the viewers have really taken well to it, and all our media partners, whether it's Sport One or DAZN or whoever it may be, they're all very satisfied with the numbers. Obviously, that had to do with Gabriel doing well and beating the then reigning world champion. That was a very big thing for German darts. Yeah.
2020, I'm guessing for yourself and PDC Europe was an absolute nightmare. With everything that went on, not as many Euro tours as you'd like, not as many fans at the European Championships as you'd hope for, and financially, I'm guessing this all had a huge impact on PDC Europe.
Yeah, sure. I mean, that's the thing with the Corona crisis. There's no branch really that wasn't affected. Obviously, all the promoters, whether it's sport or culture, theatre, concerts, whatever it may be, wherever you've got a live it had some impact on us, especially because European tour not being streamed or not being broadcasted anywhere. So our main source of income is the live public that come there to watch it. So obviously that's it's been a tough year from that standpoint. But generally, I think darts is in a good position, and I think we've had a lot of strong years that sort of gave us a foundation to make it through this difficult period. Let's just hope that it doesn't continue for.
Yeah,
I know. Then it's going to get difficult for everyone, really. Then it's going to be difficult for football clubs, for teams that have massive revenues. So let's just keep our fingers crossed that we can go forward in 2021 a bit better than last year.
Speaking of 2021, obviously we haven't got a proper calendar yet, which we understand because no one knows what's going on yet. So we know we've got the Masters, but looking at the Euro Tour, when's the earliest you hope to start? But realistically, when do you expect the Euro Tour to start?
It's very, very difficult. I know the last year has been like that, and probably 2021 will sort of continue in a way where you can only look so far ahead, So it's all a bit of looking into the crystal ball, especially now with the vaccine coming onto the market and this process starting. We're monitoring that very, very closely now, and we're looking at the numbers, and we're looking and we're obviously in close contact with the health departments and with the venues, and trying to make sure that we find a starting that is safe. And that is not so easy right now. That is sort of still a point that moves back and forth, or that not so much forth, but rather back, And we'll see when that point will actually be. We hope it's going to be sooner rather than later. But the main thing is that we can assure the safety of the people that come, and we want to make sure that we can get the fans back into the venues, but only when it's safe. So we're looking at that very closely. We're monitoring that, close contact and close dialogue, obviously, with the authorities, and let's hope that difficult to point out a certain point in time when it's going to go forward.
Would you be surprised, though, if it was in the first half of the year? Would you expect most Euro tours to be latter end of the year?
Probably. I mean, most certainly the first half. I don't know, but certainly the first third of the year, I'd be surprised. I think also when you listen to to what's going on in football, they're obviously speculating as well. When can they have that back? First third is probably unrealistic. And middle of the year is difficult to say what's going to happen. We'll have to wait for the development, how the numbers regarding the virus are developing, and if the numbers go down and sort of stay down, then there's a chance, I think.
Obviously, 13 Euro tours were planned last year. I'm guessing we won't see 13 this year because of the number of weekends that we're going to lose before we can play any. That
very much depends on obviously the point when we can start. If that happens earlier than expected, then that obviously means that gives us a bit of more time, a bit of leeway towards the end of the year. Certainly, the longer we have to wait until we start, the more events will probably be left out. Whether it's going to be 13 or less than 10, no one can say at the moment. We're looking at things and we're trying to have as many as possible, as many as safe, as responsible, really.
Is there a danger, perhaps, that there won't be a Euro Tour this year? Say we get to July, August, and we still haven't had a Euro Tour. Is there a danger that we might not get a Euro Tour in 2021?
I mean, that's the thing. It's not really in our hands, is it? I mean, if for a year now we've said, well, it can't get any worse than that, but somehow it keeps getting worse. You were at the Worlds, obviously, and at the start we were all happy because 1,000 fans per session. And then obviously the starts, and then the virus sort of changes, and the whole situation goes completely crazy. So it is so difficult to say, Phil. We cannot predict anything. Obviously, if something really bad happens now, and the virus mutates 2 or 3 times more, and all of a sudden everything closes down again, then it's obviously not realistic to have a Euro Tour. But that with the development going on and with the vaccine out now, that things are going to that we're going to get things under control, and if that happens, then we're very positive and very optimistic that there's going to be a Euro Tour.
In terms of logistics, obviously you guys are based in Germany. Is it easier for you to get German locations sorted, working with one government and one health organisation, instead of obviously like the Netherlands, Prague and everything like that? So would it be fair to assume that the bulk of the Euro Tours, if they happen, will be in Germany for this year?
That's a good possibility. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, so far, Germany has been a rather safe place. They sort of dealt with things in a rather as good as could be in the circumstances. Other countries had more problems, obviously, than when you look at Eastern Europe as well, where we would have had a couple of events last year. So probably not very realistic to go there. So you probably have a point when it comes to Germany, but we will have to wait and see how the developments are. Obviously, it might happen that if the Netherlands are sort of the place that get it under control quite quickly, then there's obviously a good chance that we do something in the Netherlands. But I know it's an unsatisfying answer, but it's at the moment right now it's really wait and see and monitor the development.
I'm guessing, like from the European Championship finals, from a financial point of view, that you need that packed arena for the weekend as well, because there's a lot of prize money on offer, not just on the Euro Tours, but on the actual European Championship final. So playing them in empty arenas, especially for hundreds of thousands of pounds, isn't really a good option that you want.
Well, surely. I mean, the good thing for the majors that we've got in Germany or on the continent is that they're being broadcast, and there's that side of there's at least this financial plus that we get. But now, obviously, we want to make sure that when we are on telly, that there's a good crowd. I mean, you obviously remember Oberhausen last year. I mean, where we thought we had it worked out, and we had Yeah, over 1,000 people there for the Saturday sessions and Sunday sessions, and all of a sudden, numbers go up again, and then they tell you, well, you can only have, I don't know, 200 people, and obviously having 200 people in a massive arena like Oberhausen that wasn't nice to see, obviously, but obviously that's not what we want to see. But at least from the major standpoint and from the TV standpoint, there's that bit of revenue that we can make there.
Just touching on Oberhausen, because I remember speaking to you nearer the time that call was made so late as well, wasn't it? You guys had literally days to sort out the ticket arrangements because it was literally slashed, wasn't it? What was that like, and how hard was that to get that done in time in such a short space?
Yeah, that was horror, really. I mean, on the one hand, because obviously it was very difficult from an organizational standpoint, but it was bad news for the fans again. And as time went on, you're getting tired of bad news. All you want to do is tell them, hey, listen, we've got this sorted. You can come, you can have a good time, you can watch the darts. And then they put a lot of trust and faith in you, and we made the move from Dortmund to Oberhausen, and they bought the tickets for Oberhausen or exchanged their Dortmund tickets for Oberhausen tickets, and we would have had good numbers there. We would have had a good crowd there. And then obviously with how things develop, then you've got to go and tell them, well, listen, we sold the tickets, and we tried to find a fair solution. We were thinking about, okay, let's maybe draw the fans that can come. But we said, that's not fair either, and then we said, okay, let's we've got to give the tickets back. You've got to get the vouchers again, and then you have to exchange again for tickets that are valid, for the reduced number of fans that was allowed. So doing that over the course of, I can't quite remember what it was, but a good week or something, that was terrible, obviously, and you're just getting tired of providing the fans with bad news.
I'm just going to touch on German darts here a little bit after the Worlds. Has it ever been in a better place? Obviously, you've got Gabriel playing very well. Max on a bit of a resurgence. Nico coming through as well. 3 real spearheads that are figureheading German darts at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, it's looking really good. I mean, and obviously the first purely German game on the World Darts Championship stage, Gabriel against Nico. That was sort of an indicator of the development we've got going on. I mean, obviously, Gabriel at the moment, he is the new German #1, and I think rightfully so. I think he is the best German player at the moment. And he's still on the up. He's still developing. I think we've not seen him peak yet. And the moment when he starts bringing that form that he's shown on the Pro Tours, away from television, when he brings that A game onto the big stage, well, then a couple of big names, they will have their work cut out against him. But what I also found very encouraging was, the couple of Euro Tours we've had last year. There were a couple of Germans that really came through there. One name that comes to mind now is Franz Rötsch, who's had an incredible event in was it Riesa? I think it was Riesa, where he beat Rob Cross. He was playing brilliant darts, Tom plus average. So it's great to see that there are more and more players that sort of come through the ranks, and Euro Tour obviously is a fantastic place for them to gain experience and to get that feeling of the big stage, and that's the development that they need.
You also must be excited that Nico Curtis has committed to doing the whole of Q School this time instead of the one day, because the buzz around Nico Curtis, even in the UK, is huge, because he's a young man that, with limited experience, just seems to light up that big stage when he plays on it, from the Euro Tour to the World Championships.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, we're all very happy that Nico's decided to play Q School, and I think he's got a good shot of getting his tour card. With Nico, is actually, if you get to know him, it's actually funny, because when you see him on television, he always seems quite reserved and rather shy and quiet person. But the way he's sort of a different guy when he's on that stage, because he's nothing like that up there. He seems to enjoy it. He's reveling in the atmosphere. I mean, what he did. I mean, especially the World Championships 2020, when he was playing in front of the big crowd, and when he beat James Wilson, he beat Joe Cullen. That was very, very impressive. And I think he does things the right way. You know, that he said, you know, you can't go for his tour card last year, but he's sort of taken a sensible approach then and taken it slowly, and that was it's the right thing to do, I think, what he does.
Phil, thanks very much for joining us here at Online Darts and talking all the Euro Tour action for 2021. Hopefully, I know you're a busy man, mate, so thanks for joining us, mate. It's an absolute pleasure.
No worries, pal. My pleasure. Take care, eh?